So what I'm doing is if you, and people may not be aware of this either. So if you have, what did I just move? I just moved something on accident. Give me one moment. Oh, that's an old. Okay, so on StreamLabs, when you get this video is about the StreamLabs Prime apps, which, from my understanding, are only available with Prime. But if you can piecemeal get them, I recommend getting them piecemeal because the totality of the apps, not super great, but some apps individually are awesome. So on the sidebar here is where the apps go, below the App Store icon and above the multi-stream icon. If you go to studio mode, it would just look like this. Okay, so if you right click, or if you click and drag like this, it pulls the window out into a separate window completely, which is awesome because it makes everything significantly easier to look at. And if you have apps like, for example, what I'm going to talk about today, like Random Clip Player, which I use almost daily, and Memeboard, you're able to then just access it without having to do what I just did, which is go over to the app, click on it individually, and access it that way. So first one is definitely Memeboard. And one of the nice things is you'll be able to see the effects and on my webcam, the upper right corner. So you have certain effects like, let's take Red Alert. You got Thug Life, which I'm not sure if this one's going to be put in the right spot. We'll see here. Yeah, it's pretty close. I adjust my seat position a lot because I have back issues. Preview of some of these things that you see, and you see they're very simple. You just click on it, and it works. It just flat out works. Now, how it works is dependent upon how simple or advanced you want to get. On a simple way, you can click on the how-to. You follow the things, and you have to add their widgets. You have to add for the webcam, and you have a webcam overlay, and you also have a full screen overlay. You can just do those two things and go from there. Now you can also get more advanced and add in your own custom memes and add in keybinds for each of these things if you intend to use them frequently, or if you are limited screens or buttons or whatever, right? Just makes things easier overall. Great app, highly recommend it. Super straightforward. This app also super great, super straightforward. This is the Random Clip Player app. I use this in my AFK, or when I'm be right back, especially if it's gonna be more than a couple minutes. I throw this on. So you see this is my top clips from the last 24 hours, and I hit play. If you have, actually I'm not gonna use it right now because I play music while I'm streaming, so it's likely that it'll play something that will get this DMCA, so we want to avoid that. So I'm not gonna, but either way, you can cycle through the default playlists or top of all time, 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, and you can create your own playlist, right? I mean, so there's flexibility there, which is nice, and you can shuffle it, loop it, you can block out certain clips, you can turn the volume up, down, you can skip it. Like, there are so many options, not to mention you can change the how the border functions. In other words, what this image looks like. So it's kind of like cropped in the four corners essentially. You can kind of adjust how that image, how that sight in looks. Again, I think it's pretty straightforward, and there are definitely options using it. Highly recommend it. Think that it's another one of their great apps. Now this is where it starts to get a little bit more murky. These apps are good, and I use them, and I definitely do recommend them. Another one I do use, which some people might be sad about. I'm not big for social media, so this app Stream Social is great because it'll auto-generate messages depending upon how you want to have it function, and you can adjust what messages there are, and still live, start, end, game change, whatever. And it's got full flexibility there. Good app. Definitely recommend this one as well. Then we have Advanced Overlay Maker, which is going to be more relevant for most people, because I think a lot of people are looking for graphics and ways to enhance their stream, but they don't want to have to put in a lot of money. They either do it because it's a hobby, or you enjoy it, in other words, or you're just kind of starting out. Regardless of whatever your intentions are, these two apps are the ones that I have found to be the best. This one won't disengage. Interesting. This one app I'm trying to pull off will not pull off. All right, well, I'll start with this one. There you go. So this is Advanced Overlay Maker 2.0, as they call it. And you can adjust from the very nitty-grittiest part. For example, particle background. I mean, look, and you can, if you're artistic, I mean, shit, you could just change this to red alone. Look at that. It goes from being snowflakes to blood, or however you want to interpret that. I mean, that's incredible, and the animation stayed the same, and it was seamless. I mean, you have so many options in this lab, especially if you're a creative person, and you don't have to go through the difficulties of the Adobe programs, which require a little more program knowledge, because these things are essentially templates that you can then customize, and you can combine them together in creative ways to make what you would like to make. Now, these are, for example, these are all background loops. So let's just let's look at this one. So you could take this, you can look at this red one, a green one. So it's the same loop, just different colors, right? And then you take this, you save this as a widget, it saves over here, and then you just click add to scene, and then you add it, it'll come up. I mean, and it'll look like something like this. I made this stream start, what I show now, through a combination of using the Advanced Overlay Maker and the Stream Design Factory. It's a combination of both apps, essentially. And I use, within this, what you see here, not to mention those transitions, those are called stinger transitions. Those are also made through the next app I was talking about, the Stream Design Factory. There is so much creative potential that costs you the cost of the Prime membership. Now, you have to have Prime active. This is the only drawback. You have to have Prime active for these apps to continue functioning. So if you create awesome art and you love it and you're like, this is great, drawback is that if your membership ends or your ownership of the app ends, like I said, I don't know that you can get the individual app ownership anymore. If you can, then great. Then when that ends, you can't use that art anymore. That is the major, and I would say only, downside. I guess if you want to see something a little cooler, here you gotta look at some of these transitions. This looks kind of cool. Let's look at this. See, there's audio. I mean, it's simple, it's straightforward. I mean, and oh yeah, see, there's the stealth one. I use that. That's the stinger transition. I use that. I use the drop zone. I use that. They're great. I mean, you see over here that I use multiple things from this as well. Definitely a great app. And the last app that I think that is definitely worth noting, for whatever reason, I cannot get it to pull out. Pull out, damn it. I can't get it to pull out. So this app, its content is great. It's larger than the last app that I showed you, but its user interface is shit to get used to. Okay, do you see how I have to keep clicking the menu button to keep opening and closing it? People who are basic phone users are gonna just get fucked by that menu, in my opinion. You're gonna like, you'll click the home button. You're like, okay, this means browse, and so I click that, and then you're like, well, I clicked this, and I did this, and I selected my package, but where is it? What do I do? Where and how? Well, if you click the re-menu button so that you can actually read what it says, it's down here. You have to select your package and then say add to my sources. And then you can go through the various options that come in that package, overlay the screens, the intermission alerts, camera frame, etc. It is a very convoluted way of doing things, and it is the biggest drawback of this app. However, the content within the app, like I said, is astronomically phenomenal. And the way that you're able to incorporate certain things, like for example, social drop there, is awesome. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I mean, look, I think Frontier is one that I look at a lot. And I personally like, I think it was red, yellow. Yeah. So then we say, let's go down here. Let's look at red, yellow. Yeah. So you see my socials bar at the bottom. It's literally this socials bar. All right, and it's got a good runner. You're gonna use so many options. I mean, you can make it session if you want session. Like a session's kind of a rare thing to be able to find. All-time 30-day, things like that, those are super common. I actually didn't know that session was an option. It's pretty cool. So if you've a bigger following, that's obviously more pertinent to you. Screen starting soon. It's really small. I can actually... I may have removed it. Oh, there it is. This is this version starting soon. So it looks pretty cool. Full GIF. Not super intensive. I mean, you see like there's nothing going on here really that's any intensiveness whatsoever. Intermission. I took this screen, right, and adjusted it, and see how I renamed it to socials, put my socials at the top, and then I have the chat box and webcam, and you know, and then within depending upon the game, like League of Legends, I'll have the League of Legends window in here, and then switch scenes when we get in game, and some other games like TFT or Rocket League, sometimes I'll sit in here longer, or because it's more of a conversation or hangout type game. You know, you have the flexibility. The alerts are not something. The alerts are more extensive than like Streamlabs. They include things like when someone subscribes to your YouTube channel. So I actually think the alerts can get kind of annoying personally. So I'm not super fond of them. But that's just personally. Because it's more involved. I don't need an audio alert for when someone subscribes to your YouTube channel. But that's just me personally. Maybe that's something you do want. So, like I said, you see all these packages here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 21 different packages, all that have, I mean, not all of them are dynamic. Some of them are static, but they're all really good in their ability for you to customize and see the options that you have available. I mean, look at that. That looks cool. So does this. I mean, these are very cool. Again, the only drawbacks are that it's a template, right? So the ability for you to cut it out and customize it yourself would rely on your own technical skills. You're otherwise relying upon the package's ability. So in the alert settings, you can, as you can see, you can turn them all off from here, which I do. I have mine turned off. So we go to The other thing is, but lastly, before we move on, you saw the overlay. You click edit here. The naming of them obviously matters as well. But as you see, there's some awkwardness between the way you have to keep jumping around within their options and kind of coming back in and out. You know, I've actually been, I like this overlay a lot, but there is another overlay. I have been kind of like wondering, is it the best one? You know, is it the overlay that I'm happiest with? I think stylistically it is, but artistically it is not. So I'm still working around personally, you know, for that look that I'm personally looking for. I mean, let's look at this one and see if this is it. I see now, like this is a GIF animated overlay, and you know the labels are really nice, but see it doesn't do the same full overlay. It's actually basically what the socials bar is, which is cool. It looks good, you know. And now I didn't show off the alerts, but if you don't have alerts, you would have that option as well. So those are some apps that I highlighted, and this will be cut and